Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. This is Eric, and yes, we are live this Monday to go over our game review of Week 1, as I like to call it, the dissecting of the defeat to the LA Chargers 24-19. I put a poll in the chat already, and I'll let the YouTubers see it as well. I put it in there. What do you think was the reason behind this Week 1 loss? Was it the 3 interceptions by Carr? Was it not establishing the run game? Was it Herbert playing lights out? Or was it something else that you wanted to add yourself? Add those to the comments. You can add those onto YouTube and TikTok, as we are simulcasting on both platforms. And I have to apologize a little bit to you guys in TikTok because I do not have a stream key as of yet. Hopefully I can get one. The more I go live, the more I can do this. So I'm doing this right now, if you can see on there, on my iPad, my tablet. And that way I can go the laptop on both, and you can see I'll be able to show comments for both on both sides. Hey, Sandy B, I see you in here. How are you doing tonight? And of course, we're going to go over this loss to the Chargers. But first of all, I want to go over what I do here, and that is the rundown. If you're new to the show, if you're new to the program, this is how we do it. These are the topics we're going to talk about. At the end, we have a question and answer segment where you guys get in here, and I'm going to hear what you have to say about the subject. So put your comments in right now, and we'll get to those. So let's get on with this right now.
I hear everyone say it. Take what they give you. We're going to take what we want.
And I like to start the show always with the champion count. I do appreciate each and every one of you subscribing and or following. These are our current counts on both platforms, and I do thank you very much with that. And I see a lot of you in the chat, in TikTok as well. Thank you for that. Let's get right to what I want to go over is our poll of the week, and we do this on YouTube. I just wanted to go over this because this is something that we do right before the preview on Friday. We usually do those on Friday. But you guys said overwhelmingly the right side of the offensive line blocking Bosa. There was some problems with that, but there was a little bit more problems in other areas. We're going to get to that. So let's get right to our game review of this game.
The other team's quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard.
Now, this is our game review. We always start on our defensive side of the ball. And I'm going to go over what I had as my keys to the game. I'm going to grade those. I'm going to give an overall grade for the defense. I'm going to explain those grades in detail. So let's get to the first key of the game. And I was looking at this front four, this defensive line. I wanted to see at least 4 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, and at least 1 turnover. I was thinking a strip sack or forcing Herbert into an interception due to pressure. What actually happened was we had no sacks. We had 3 quarterback hits and no turnovers. I got to give that an F. Now, I know Crosby played his heart out, but he did not get a sack. It was not good enough. The pressure wasn't there. Chandler Jones, more times than not, Rashawn Slater kind of owned him in the game. That was a little disturbing, to be honest with you. You didn't see a whole lot of pressure there. I saw mostly Crosby. I saw some blitzing a little bit. I saw Bilal Nichols in there inside. They played well as far as stopping the run. But this key to the game was mainly directed at the pass rush and getting to Justin Herbert. Of course, we didn't do that, and subsequently he went 26 of 34, 279 yards and 3 touchdowns. And I can't do anything but give an F grade for this performance on this key to the game. Now, my second one was Austin Eckler. Historically, this guy has kind of carved us up both in the rushing and receiving game. And my goal was to keep him under 100 yards, under 2 touchdowns. And we actually did that. He was only 14 of 36 rushing the ball, 72 total all-purpose yards. I got to give that an A, but also they didn't really need the running game because the passing game was there. Again, we did not do a good enough job getting to Herbert, isolating him, keeping him in the pocket. He tried to run a couple times, didn't get much with that. I think the running side of the ball looked solid for us on the defense, but the pass rush just wasn't there. Here's some examples right here where we were kind of stopping the run game here. They did all kinds of things inside, outside. They really couldn't get a running game established, but overall they didn't really need it because Herbert really played lights out. Had no errors really and very few bad balls, no interceptions obviously. But I'm going to give our defense overall a C+. Now, they gave up 24 points, but 17 of those were in the first half. They only gave up 7 points in the second half. I'll really kind of crack down on things. Kept the Raiders in this ball game. They're down by 10 points at the half. Gave the offense several chances to win this game. We just couldn't get it done. And of course, we'll get to the offensive side of the ball here. But first, I want to talk about what's next up for the channel, what we're going to be doing, and that's going to be our game preview. Next week, Raiders hosting the Cardinals, our first home game at Allegiant Stadium this year. We got Kyler Murray in the group who got destroyed by the Chiefs last week. We'll talk a little bit about that game that Friday. And I'm going to give my 4 keys to the game on that as well, 2 on offense and 2 on defense. Join us. We'll be here Friday at 6 p.m., 8 Central rather, and hope you to join us there.
And I hear everyone say it, take what they give you. We're going to take what we want.
Now, on the offensive side of the ball, honestly, that was the main problem in this game overall. My first key to the game was this right side, and I was expecting less than 4 quarterback hits and 0 sacks. Now, in actuality, as a team, that's why Panasser's there. We had 9 quarterback hits on Carr and 6 sacks. Now, I'm going to give this a C- because a lot of this, I'm going to attribute 2 sacks to this side of the ball. The rest were on the left side of the ball. There was some blitzing, a very poor blocking scheme on Josh Jacobs in the first quarter. A lot of coverage sacks too. That goes on Carr. He needs to get rid of the ball quicker, especially later in the game. A couple of those Khalil Mack sacks were attributed to that. I mean, you're only going to get 3, 4, 5 seconds at most, and that's all you're going to get in the National Football League. And I think Carr held on the ball a little bit too long. Some of the balls were a little errant, and I know Devontae Adams is his new toy. He got 10 catches, 17 targets, 141 yards and a touchdown. But he's got to spread the ball out a little bit more for us to be a little more successful, to be honest with you. I know that's his buddy and all that, but ultimately that's got to happen. So I'm going to give it a little bit below average for this right side. I know they had Thayer Munford switching out with Lieberman at right tackle. I didn't see any huge disparaging performances like we saw with Brandon Parker. Not to say it was great, but overall I think there was a little bit more going on than just the right side of the ball as far as the offensive line concerns go. Now, my second key to the game was this running game. Now, I fully expected that this team would actually run the ball more, try to keep Herbert and that offense off the field, control the clock, control the chains. I thought that's why we got Zamir White. I thought that's why we got Britton Brown, so we would always have a fresh running back in there between the tackles that we can pound, get those tough yards. And I was looking for 150 total rushing yards among those guys, those 3 guys. And what we actually got was 57, paltry 57 yards. I know, only 10 carries. 64 total combined yards as far as all three of them. Jacobs was 10 for 57. And I got to give this an F. I think Josh Jacobs was kind of, honestly, I said this in the halftime report. I thought he was kind of lollygagging it. And second half, he played a little bit better, to be honest with you. I'll give him those. He pushed a little bit harder, especially when the team got behind a couple scores trying to get back into this game. But you got to play a full 4 quarters. And not only that, that part is Josh Jacobs' responsibility. Then I got to level this at Josh McDaniels. Why are we passing so much against this team when it was basically even through about a first quarter and a half? Why weren't we pounding the ball more, testing this interior defensive line? Like I said, they got some new free agents. They did do a little bit better job stopping the run than they did last season, but still, it wasn't enough for me to abandon the running game. They waited, and then, of course, we had the 3 turnovers in this game with Carr, and we dug ourselves a hole, and then we basically had no choice but to pass just about every down. And so overall, I'm going to give the offense a D. I would give Carr an F in this grade. I think overall the offense was a D. There was flashes, and frankly, a lot of it has to do with this guy right here, Josh McDaniels. I'm really kind of questioning. I was really wondering because our starters did not. Sandy B, I'll answer that in a minute. Sandy B asked, which coach do you think screwed up? I was really worried a little bit because our starters did not play one single down in the preseason. We didn't really know what we had. And then you play a team like the Chargers, an above average playoff type team. And you could kind of say it was a little bit rusty. Carr was a little rusty out there. A couple balls definitely were bad on him as far as those interceptions. Then you had the throw behind Waller that should have been an easy touchdown. He beat his guy. We had to settle for a field goal there. But overall, I think it would have served us well to at least played a couple series on that last game against New England. That's what I thought was going to happen. It did not happen. And it kind of showed. Honestly, it kind of showed on this offense. So overall, Carr's going to have to clean it up. I'm a little worried. I'm gonna attribute this to rust. I'm going to attribute this to trying to overload Davante Adams here. And frankly, we need to run the ball more. We need to run the ball more early in the game and control this and establish it, especially against a high-powered offense like the Chargers. But I want to know what you guys have to think. We're in our question and answer segment right now. Again, lost 24-19, and you could look at this as a number of ways. You could be pessimistic and say, Carr was terrible. The Chargers dominated us. Or you could look at it this way and say, we lost the turnover battle 3-0. The Chargers played pretty much a clean game. Especially the offensive side. They were pretty much perfect in this game, and they only won by 5 points. So let's look at it that way. That's the way I'm looking at it. I think the offense was rusty. I think the decision not to play in the preseason game, at least a couple series in that first quarter against the Patriots, I think that showed a little bit of rust. I would have liked to have seen that, and Carr's got to distribute the ball a little bit better. Not only that, but also not key in on Davante Adams so much. Also, another key I want to talk about is Bryce Callahan. That's the slot corner, former Denver Bronco. That's a guy I was pounding the table for in the offseason to go get. We didn't get him. He went to the Chargers, and he did a pretty good job. He got an interception covering Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow hardly did anything in this game. I think part of it was that Carr was keyed in on Adams, but another part of it was a good play by Bryce Callahan. We could have used that guy in the slot, especially since they moved Nate Hobbs outside anyway. Again, that I think that's kind of a miscue on our part, unless we tried to get him in here. I didn't hear anything about that, and he just didn't want to sign with us. I don't think that happened. I don't think we brought him in. I didn't hear anything about that. I know he had the knee injury last year, but he looked pretty darn good on Sunday afternoon. I'll say that. So I also put a poll out. I want to look at that right now. So you TikTokers out here, here's our poll in YouTube land. Again, once I get a stream key, we'll have both of this lined up. I'll be able to put the chat on both sides here so everybody can see everybody. And it looks like everybody's saying 3 interceptions by Carr. I think it's a combination of all of those, and I really think it's optimistic. Honestly, it's optimist. I'm very optimistic because the way the Chargers played. Let's be honest. They looked in midseason form. I mean, they looked almost in playoff form. Herbert looked lights out. I mean, that guy could hardly do anything wrong. Maybe 1 or 2 errant passes the whole game. But look, we only lost by 5 points. We lost by 5 points. Carr threw 3 interceptions. 2 of them were ugly. One of them, you could say Devontae could have made a play on it. He kind of just overran the ball. But still, I would have liked to, and Devontae said that himself, he probably could have run it. But the other 2 interceptions were terrible. Undercut by, there was a Tranquil interception, and then my guy, Bryce Callahan, undercutting Hunter Renfrow and getting the ball. And then, but Carr corrected that later on. He threw it outside of him. Later on in the game, he was throwing an out route to Hunter Renfrow. Instead of throwing it there, he threw it more outside. It was a little harder to catch, but that way only Hunter could get it. So there was some improvement there. Again, 3 interceptions, 3 turnovers to none by the Chargers. Chargers played a near perfect game overall, and they only won by 5 points. So there is some optimism there. We got to get some things cleaned up on the offensive side, and quite frankly, we need to run the ball more. We need to pound these teams, especially these teams like the Chargers, who I still feel they're a little bit soft on the inside, and take advantage of that. We just didn't do it, and that's on Josh McDaniels and the offensive game plan. So let me see what you guys are having to say here. Let's see. Preacher Burnett, how you doing? Sandy's in here too. How you doing? So Dan Stewart was in here. Sandy says only 1 score away to tie or win, right? Yeah. And, we went all the way down. We didn't make the 4th down, of course. So it was all in play. I think Khalil Mack was a little bit of extra effort there, of course. Former Raider, 1st-round draft pick, of course. He kind of turned it up in the second half. Again, I think especially that last one, I think Carr needs to get rid of the ball a little bit more faster, especially with this offensive line, this makeshift line. I think the blocking schemes, especially with the running backs, leave a lot to be questioned, to be honest with you. But I mean, Mack does a great job. He even stripped it away from Carr, but Carr got it back, luckily. But still, he's a disruptor. I think he has flashes of his old self. I don't think he's gonna be a 1-year rental. I told you that. I think he's due $23 million next year on his contract, but the Chargers can cut him completely and have nothing on the cap. So unless they renegotiate, he's going to be gone from there. Maybe he will be back next year with us. Who knows? Bosa played a pretty good game. Drew Tranquil, I talked about him being a disruptor, and boy was he, that not just with that interception, but playing more in pass coverage and tackling, more so than the blitzing in this game. Very, very good player. I've been impressed with him for a while. Talked about that the last time we played in LA. He was a real pain in the ass for us. So that's just the way it goes. So Cycle Jackal says, I would have liked to have seen Tyron Johnson. I would have as well. The problem with that is I don't think the line would have had enough time to do something deep. I would have liked to have seen Zamir White. I would have liked to have seen him get a carry in this game. I would have liked to have seen less of Brandon Bolden. I know he's his McDaniel's boy, the Patriot, and all that crap. But frankly, I know he can catch the ball in the flat. That's great. And he can kind of block better than Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs that block was a half-ass. Let's just say that. But as far as Brandon Bolden goes, running the ball between the tackles, I am not impressed. I am not impressed at all. Average at best speed, average at best power. Why not have Zamir White in there pounding the ball? This game was relatively close until the second quarter. And I talked about it in the halftime show. Having a lot of power outages here in Southern California. we could get political with this, but I really don't want to. But my halftime show got cut off, and then I had to go on for about 5 minutes. So you can see that if you want. But we were kind of even. This was kind of a back and forth kind of a boxing match until that ridiculous roughing the passer call, which was absolutely garbage. Herbert was running the ball 2 yards away from the end zone. At the last minute, he slides, and Hobbs goes over him. Doesn't even really hit him. There was contact, but it wasn't really hitting him. I mean, if our guys back off, he's going to lean and fall into the end zone and get a touchdown. I don't understand what's going on. And then when we got the ball back, I believe it was Amir Abdullah running a wheel route and getting held the entire time and couldn't get to the ball. No interference, no defensive holding call. Refs, get your head out of your ass and call it consistently, please. And that kind of started the chain reaction where we just started getting behind, and it changes the game plan. Again, I'm not going to make excuses for the refs. That was a shitty call. But McDaniels, you need to run the ball more and you need to run it earlier. I mean, why did we draft 2 running backs if we're not going to use them? That didn't make any sense to me. And the right tackle situation, let's talk about the right tackle situation. We started with Luminor, and then we had Thayer Munford. Then we had Luminor, Thayer Munford, Luminor. It's like, we're in week 1, and you still don't know who your right tackle is. That is really disturbing to me. I've been worried about that. And yet, we still don't have a veteran tackle signed as a free agent. We still have plenty of cap money to get at least an average type right tackle there. Has not happened. I don't know what we're doing with that situation. It's kind of disturbing, to be honest with you. If they're not really, McDaniel said there's 7 guys on the offensive line that deserve to start. There needs to be some consistency. I mean, if you really feel that way, that's great, but you're going to have to pick 5 and stick with them. I think subbing people in and out like that doesn't really work, to be honest with you, unless you're going to go and, let's say Munford's better at run blocking. So you're going to put him in because you want to take this drive and run most of the time. Okay. But that wasn't really happening either. So, I didn't really see a change in the play calling, when one was in versus the other. So, also Zamir and Brown. Yes, we need a right tackle. Where was Waller except at the end of the 2 quarters? Well, Waller was wide open on that crossing route in the end zone, and it was 3rd down, and Carr just threw it behind him. If he threw it in front of him, that's easy 6 points. That's on Carr. Waller was open. Waller, I believe, ended up getting 79 yards. A lot of it in the second half. They did do a little bit more adjusting. I don't know what it was. They wanted to feed Devontae more. If he was just getting open. I'm a little concerned with Bryce Callahan and Hunter Renfrow. I'm not so sure Hunter was really getting open enough, and Carr was confident enough to throw it to him. So Carr kept underthrowing the ball. Throwing behind and underthrowing the ball. Again, Psycho Jackal, like I said before, it concerns me that we did not have our starters play one single down in the preseason. I know their injuries and all that, but I would have liked to have seen a series or 2 in that Patriot game to get them acclimated to actually playing a game. And we got to come out the gate and play a Charger team that is a playoff caliber team. Let's admit it. They're a solid team all the way around. And then they went and got Khalil Mack. And now we got to play the Arizona Cardinals, who were in the playoffs last year. I know they got demolished by like 5 touchdowns by Mahomes and the Chiefs. I'm hoping we can do something similar. We'll talk about that on Friday, though. Like I said, we'll be going live to do the preview of week 2. But we need to be the offense looked really rusty, and Carr looked really rusty, and I think that was a byproduct of the decision of not playing them at all in the preseason. See what you guys have to say. Invite Kat to go live. Hey, Tommy Denton, how are you doing? If you got any comments in TikTok, throw them in there as well. Let's see. Psycho Jackal says, I was pissed after the first interception, and I knew things were going we're going to get funky. Yeah, Drew Tranquil. Drew Tranquil is a heck of a player. I think a lot of it has to do with the rust. That's number one. Keying on Devontae too much, and just the game plan. It was 80% pass in the beginning, if not more. And I don't know. Again, if I'm the Raiders, if I'm running the offense, I want to pound the ball against teams like the Chargers and the Chiefs, so Mahomes and Herbert don't get the ball in 2 minutes, and then our defense gets tired. I mean, I think our defense played great overall. We needed to get to the passer more. I think that was one of the Achilles heel. Chandler Jones, I don't know where he was in this game. He was here and there tripping people up on a play or two, not getting in the backfield as much as I would like to see him. Max was all over the place, but no sacks. I know Herbert gets the ball off quickly. I get that, but still, we need more out of that. Nate Hobbs, absolute playmaker. Love that guy. Makes plays in the running game and the passing game. Overall, and I think he's just going to get better. This is just his second year, so I would probably give him a game ball if I were to give anybody a game ball. I probably wouldn't give anybody a game ball unless we won, but if I was, I'd probably be Nate Hobbs for the game. See, Sandy B says, agree, need to connect more. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping Derek and Devontae got out of their system. I mean, 17 targets is way too much. He's going to be the number one guy. I get it, but for this to really work, we're going to have to spread the ball around. We need to run the ball too. I think the team got a little bit too predictable. Hello there. Got a little bit too predictable, especially with the defense like this. You got to keep them honest. I kept saying that. We got to run the ball more, not let them have their way and clip their ears back and just rush the passer like they were doing. Blitzing Derwin James, causing havoc. Blitzing. We need to have our blitz pickup packages a little bit better there. I think he got involved a little bit too much in the game. Oh, thank you, my life. Oh, thank you. My life sending some gifts there, some hearts. How you doing? I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. But again, we need to work on that. Derwin James was kind of like the Drew Tranquil of the last game in LA, just causing havoc with his with the blitzing, and also in the backfield. So let's see, what else do you guys want to talk about? So. Yeah, most of you guys are saying it's the 3 interceptions by Carr, and that's a big part of it. But I think Carr played badly, but I also think that we put too much on the passing side of the ball. We weren't a balanced offense. Like I said, Zeus did not get one single carry in the game. I don't even know if Britton Brown suited up. I'd have to look. Only two running backs actually got any carries, and that was Bolden and of course Josh. So that's not good enough. It's not good enough. We're not playing the Carolina Panthers here. We're playing the LA Chargers, a very, very strong team that probably should have made the playoffs last year, but their head coach was stupid and called the timeout. We probably Bisaccia would have settled for the tie, like I said before. Both would have won in the playoffs, but. You could tell the Chargers were kind of out for blood. It looked like they wanted it a little bit more. It was kind of back and forth, and they kind of took the lead. They got a 10-point lead at the half. Couple bad turnovers. The Raiders tried to fight back. Got it within 5, and that was it. So, let's see. Gotta beat me on gifts. You don't have to beat me on gifts. Yes, I do see that, Sandy. 2K likes on TikTok. I do appreciate that. How many likes do I have here? 11. I say 11 in YouTube. Of course, YouTube's a little bit different, but that's a lot as well. I appreciate that. So anything else you guys want to talk about the game, this game? If you want to talk about specific players in the game, again, my power went out like 4 or 5 times during the game. It's kind of funny. It's kind of not, but situation here in California, especially during the days, the grids are going crazy and all that. But like I said, it messed up part of my halftime live stream. So I should be okay right now. It's 6:30 here Pacific time, so we should be okay. But overall, I want to just say that, and we should be okay for the remainder of our game reviews and previews because they're in the evening. But I think the halftime ones are going to kind of be dicey right now, at least until it gets a little bit cooler. I think a lot of people are running their air conditioning units around here, and rightfully so, triple digits. So it is what it is. I didn't get to see the entire full game because my TV would go out. I'd have to reboot, get it back up, the network back up and all that. So I missed a little tiny bit. It'd be down for a few minutes and pop back up and all that. Kind of craziness, but it is what it is. Like I said, Devontae looked good out there for the most part. But that's kind of a double-edged sword in my opinion. I think we went a little bit too much to him again. Need to establish the run a little bit better. Defense needs to get to the quarterback. Chargers are a dangerous team. I knew it would be a tough game. And even though we had 3 turnovers and like I said, they played relatively perfectly. We only lost by 5 points. So, tried to catch you up. I appreciate it. My life says, wait till it affects your travel in cars. Well, I don't plan on being in the state. I'm looking to escape from LA, escape from California. So hopefully I can go to a state where we actually have electricity and it doesn't get cut off every 5 minutes, even though they tax you to death. But that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say about that. This is a Raider show, not a political program. So let's see. Sandy says this was a doable game. It was. And frankly, if Carr doesn't throw one of those interceptions, we might have won the game. We might have squeaked out the win anyway. And it kind of shows that the talent of this team, I would like to a little bit more consistency. We had like a little lull in the second quarter and then kind of tried to kick it up in the third and fourth quarters. But that, and again, the running game, why did we just go pass in the beginning? I didn't get that. I didn't understand that. And frankly, that's the strength of the Chargers defense, is their secondary and their pass rush. So if you're going to pass, you're going into the teeth of their strength. Why not run the ball, run it up the middle, pound the heck out of them, do some short passes, and mix it up, and then go for the dagger with Devontae going deep, or Hunter Renfrow in a 15-20 yard crossing route, or Waller. Like I said, I want a little bit more balance in this team, and that also takes the pressure off this offensive line that's frankly kind of questionable. Plus, with their above average pass rush, that takes the pressure off as well. So, Sandy says, "Come closer to us." I'm gonna stay in the West. I appreciate that. I'm probably gonna stay in the West. I like the West more than the East, but yeah, appreciate that. Or the Midwest. Sandy also says Carr usually pulls the trigger in the fourth. He does. He does. He tried. That's one thing about Carr. It didn't seem like he was discouraged. He did make some mistakes. I did watch the Carolina-Cleveland game, and it seemed with Baker Mayfield, he was making a lot of mistakes, really tense, fumbling the ball. Had a couple good plays, but overall not the same type of intestinal fortitude, so to speak, that Derek Carr has. So again, I think he made some mistakes, but also it's a byproduct of not being on the field with these guys in real game situations, with real people trying to knock your head off. And I would have liked to have seen that in the Patriot game, and we didn't. and everything was kind of a mystery, especially on this offensive side. And things were kind of exposed, so it'll be very interesting to see. I'm going to take a look at the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk about that next Friday, 6 o'clock Pacific, night 8 Central. I'll give my Week 2 game review. I'll have my 4 keys of the game, 2 on offense, 2 on defense, to win this game. Hey, Corey Home, how are you doing? Okay, we'll vacate by you. You'll vacate by me. I need to know where I'm going to go first, so... Anyway, let's see. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about this game? Some observations that I haven't talked about. I basically talked about everything I wanted to talk about with this game. Put it in the chat now. We'll get to it. Again, if you are enjoying this, hit the thumbs up button. Helps with the algorithm on both platforms. Hit those hearts. You can keep tapping on the TikTok side. Here on YouTube, you can only hit the like button once. Different platform, different rules. Subscribe on the YouTube side or follow on the TikTok side. And when you do on YouTube, be sure to hit that bell notification. Do all that stuff because you got to set it to all. That way you'll be notified when I launch it. I usually launch it the morning of, so probably early Friday morning. I will set up the live stream for the game review Week 2 against the Arizona Cardinals. So it's going to be very interesting because the Cardinals are also 0-1. So the loser of that game is going to be 0-2. That's going to be a very hard pill to swallow. So I think the Raiders will bounce back. I don't think the Cardinals are as good as the Chargers, and we just need to cut out the mistakes. As far as the penalties go, very little penalties in the game. So that was good as well. Let's see. Corey said it seemed like the game was like Madden, throw over and over to the same receiver. I must say they knew who was getting the ball in the passing game. Couldn't stop Adams, but Carr had to switch it up. Yeah, I agree. And then that's what I said. They went too much with Devontae. I think part of it was Bryce Callahan, slot corner for Denver, was signed by the Chargers. And it looked like he played pretty well against Hunter Renfrow. That kind of took it away. I'd like to have seen Waller more. Derwin James had his moments, but you're not going to be able to cover Waller all the time. So, and of course, run the ball. We went to the passing game way too early and way too often in this game. I think McDaniels kind of wanted to show it. Again, that goes against the strength of the Chargers defense. Didn't make any sense to me. Hefe Chief is here. LOL, ha. Lencho had to say something. Hey, Lencho, how you doing? I see you in there. Yeah, Hefe Chiefs, they enjoyed the game. Well, the Arizona Cardinals, especially on the defensive side, have lost a lot, and we'll talk about that Friday night. But it showed. I mean, they traded for Trayvon Mullen because they had no corners. So, and then Mahomes gets 5 touchdowns. So I'm thinking Carr's going to bounce back. If you have Carr in fantasy, I would play him next week in Arizona against Arizona at home. I think he's going to want to make a statement, and maybe 2 touchdowns to Devontae, 2 to Waller. Renfro's probably get a touchdown as well. It would not surprise me if Carr got 4 or 5 touchdowns in the game. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate you subscribing. Raider Nation for life, absolutely. And we do this, and not only stuff like this, but we do our schedule prediction show. We did that last week over Labor Day weekend. And when we go to the bye, we'll do that again and see how we did predicting our wins and losses. So that's a lot of fun. Hefe enjoyed the Raiders game. What's up, Lencho? I see you out there. What's good? Not the Raiders offense. That was not good. The defense played pretty well, all things considered. Herbert was outstanding. He just looked phenomenal out there. I'll give credit where credit is due. He made very little mistakes, if any. Very few bad passes on his part. He had a few drops as well. And Keenan Allen got hurt in the game, his hamstring. So he was without his number one guy. So it is what it is. Let's see. Hey, Monster, 12-point buck, how you doing? And TikTok, I see you in there. Don't need no invitation. Hey, Earth Daughter. Well, Sandy B, welcome back. Yeah, welcome back, Sandy B. Glad to see you back in the groove again. Chargers defense might be top 5. Yeah, Hefe, I would say yes. I think they really wanted this game because of what happened the last game of the season last year. Not only that, but again, I think they played a near perfect game, and they only won by 5 points, and Carr threw 3 interceptions. So I think if we played to that same level, we win every time, and it's just the way it is. So that almost kind of shows that the Raiders on paper are better. They just need to go and perform. They need to go out there and do it on the field and not throw bad interceptions, not turn the ball over. Let's see. I still want to see them stop an interior run game. I want to see them stop a Derrick Henry up the middle. I would have loved to have seen Zamir White pound the ball up the middle. We didn't get that. He didn't get one carry in the game. I don't understand that one bit. Even in the first half when everything was nice and close, didn't happen. So they play you guys next Thursday, the Chiefs and the Chargers. So maybe we'll see how they do against the Pacheco. He looked pretty good out there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Okay. Thank you, Sandy B. I appreciate that. Lyncho says Chiefs are going to hold the Raiders' pocket after week 5. We'll see. That's going to be a real tough game, Lyncho. We talked about that in our schedule review. That's going to be a Monday night game. We're going to have a rough first 5 weeks. We already talked about that. I think going 3-2, we have a bye week, week 6. If we go 3-2 after this first 5 games, that's a lot to be said. We better see some Zamir White in this game against Arizona. We better see some more running up the middle, pounding the ball. I'm not impressed with the Arizona defense. Of course, they lost Chandler Jones. They've lost a few other people. I want to see that. And we're gonna have to contain Kyler Murray. I think we can do that. We did a pretty good job with Herbert, to be honest with you. The run defense side was outstanding. It's getting to Herbert. That was our problem. But again, I think the Chargers offensive line could be top 5. If you want to talk about top 5, Hefe, they're outstanding. They've done a lot. They've got Lindsley, the center. They went and got Slater, left tackle. They talk about Zion Johnson. They've invested heavily in this line, both in the draft and free agency. So I missed my hat and mustache. I'm sorry. Let's see. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, I can't wait until I get a stream key with TikTok, and then we can do it all on the laptop. I can put the chat on both sides, and you guys could talk back and forth with the platforms. I know some people like YouTube, and I know other people like TikTok to bounce in and out. Whatever your flavor, that's fine. Once we have that, I can put the chat on both sides of the screen, and you guys can enjoy that. That would be great. So, but TikTok doesn't give those out like candy like YouTube does, so they want you to do more lives. That's why I've been doing more lives on this channel. So hopefully we can get that. What you can do is put likes in there on TikTok and follow, and that would help me out. 3.2K likes. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Sandy, and everybody else who is contributing to that. Lyncho, let's see. Hefe's talking smack in here. Look at him. Look at him go. Hefe is in mid-season form already. Like the Chiefs are going to be doing anything this year. Jeff Garrison, how you doing? I see you in here. Jeff says, Chargers showed why they're a Super Bowl caliber team. However, rest from the starting unit, not playing the preseason. Yep. Offensive line, play calling, lack of running, interceptions we still almost won. We're good. Exactly. That's exactly what I said. I was a little leery that we did not get a single down from our starters in the preseason. I'd like to have seen a couple series in that Patriots game. Would have been a good tune-up. The Patriots looked like trash anyway on both sides of the ball. They look like trash this week against Tua Latin. Tua is not that good. He throws a 10-yard pass, and Jalen Waddle runs another 60 yards, and it looks good on the stat sheet. But I still don't trust Tua. But it would have been great to have seen that car burn that Patriots defense in preseason. All those number ones that played. Let's see. Just like Stidham did. Let's see. If McDaniels doesn't call a flea flicker. Yeah, I don't know what was thought about that. It was kind of an option pass. It wasn't a flea flicker. It was a kind of a reverse to Adams, and it was going to be an option pass. And why is he doing that? It didn't fool anybody. And again, he's playing into the teeth of the Chargers' strength, which is rushing the quarterback. You know, you've got Bosa, you've got Khalil Mack. They were blitzing like crazy. They have a good secondary. Why were you playing to their strengths? Like, you're going to have 10 seconds to do reverses and, option passes. A bunch of bullshit. I don't know what he was thinking there. A team like the Chargers, pound the ball up the middle, make Austin Johnson earn his free agent money that he got. I think he's an average defensive tackle, to be honest with you. He had a decent game, but he honestly really wasn't tested in the run game. And honestly, I'm getting a little pissed off because it's something we should have attacked. That was their weakness, up the middle. I would like to have tested Van Noy up the middle in the running game. It didn't really happen. We're going to do all this fancy nonsense. You got to go and attack their weaknesses, and their weakness is right up the middle. Let's see. Broncos getting worked. The Broncos were up when I saw right before the live stream, so I haven't. Give us a score check on that, Lencho. I'm playing against Russell Wilson in fantasy, by the way, so I'm not too worried though. I had the Steelers defense, so they went nuts against Cincinnati. That was a double reverse, not a flea flicker way. Yeah, it was like a reverse option pass. I think Devontae was going to throw it, and they even put in the stat sheet as such. He was like 0 for 0 passing. And that's the way it looked, but we're not going to have time for that crap, It's ridiculous. Hey, Sandy, another overreaction Monday, eh? Okay, at least 9 your questions out. Get your questions out. Yeah, get your questions out. I want to hear this. Get your questions. If you have questions in here, I see 8 of you in chat. I see a few of you in TikTok as well. Put your questions in chat. We'll get to them. Let's see. I usually go about an hour with this. We're getting close, so again, yeah. If you are enjoying this, hit the like button. It's the only way. It's the only way these platforms are going to spread the word. If you guys don't like these, they're going to assume you guys don't like it, and that means nobody else is going to like it, and they're not going to spread the word. If they're not going to spread the word, more people aren't going to be here. I mean, again, I could just make videos and just talk, and you could just watch it, or we could interact. Because there could be things I didn't see, I didn't notice. Again, my power was cut off like 4 or 5 times during the game. I'm here in Southern California. The grid is, I guess it's like from the Flintstone age or whatever, and it doesn't work. So it goes off and on, especially during hot days in the afternoon. So I might have missed something. I might have not seen something. Put your comments down there. I appreciate that. So, and Jeff has done just that. So let's see what Jeff has to say. I think the fact that McDaniels wanted to change it up from play calling screens, delays, draws, quick passes, not using runs enough, and overusing Adams. McDaniels outsmarted himself. Yeah, he played himself. Honestly, he played himself. I think a good amount of. I'm not going to say you dictate, because Al Davis said we just take what we want, like you've heard in the cut promos here when we talk about the offense. But a lot of it, you have to see where the weaknesses are in the defense. And to me, the weakness is not passing the ball against this Charger defense. They have a good secondary, especially at safety, and they have a good pass rush. Those are those are disadvantages to the pass game, obviously. So we want to run the ball. Again, we picked two running backs in the draft. We got rid of Kenyon Drake, a kind of more of a halfback outside pass catcher guy, and we got these two bigger kind of bruising between the tackle backs in the draft, and didn't use them. I don't understand it. And where would the weakness be? Where are the Chargers the weakest on their defense? Right there. I mean, they got Asante Samuel Jr. They re-signed Michael Davis, who I think is a decent one. I think they overpaid a little bit. They got Bryce Callahan. I told you how I feel about Bryce Callahan in the slot. Of course, they have Adderley and Derwin James, a couple high draft picks there. So, and they have Bosa and Max. So where's the weakness? Where's the weakness at? You know, Kenneth Murray it was a first round draft pick, but I think he's a little bit overrated, to be honest with you. Van Noy, I would like to have tested him. Austin Johnson, I would have liked to have tested up the middle. We didn't do any of that. I have been typing. Lencho says, steamrolling Arizona, we should win by 20. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's no D-Hop. I'm not really worried about their receivers, to be honest with you. I think right now I'll take a look at it a little bit more, but we're going to have to really contain Kyler Murray from running. I think we can do a good job with that. James Conner, I mean, if he's not hurt, he's pretty good, so we'll see about that. But I think our run defense is pretty well, honestly. I was more worried about Eckler than James Conner. Let's say that right now. So, Raider Wolf, how you doing? I see you in here. Smash the Cardinals. You were at SoFi Stadium yesterday. Way to go! It was amazing. I was watching it when my power wasn't out, and it seemed like the crowd was kind of 50-50, to be honest with you. When there were third downs for the Chargers, you heard the crowd noise jump up. Raider Nation was representing there. That was awesome. So I'm sure you're probably hoarse by now, yelling so much at the game. So what do you have to say about the game, Raider Wolf? I want to hear what you have to say. You were there. You saw it. You tell us what you were observing down there right on the field. Jeff Garrison says, beauty of McDaniel's systems, option routes, but it takes time to learn, recovers. Quarterback has to be on the same page if easy picks become a problem. I mean, that's probably why Bolden was still in the team, to be honest with you. But he underthrew that one Callahan got to Hunter. The Drew Tranquil pick in the middle, that was a bad pass as well. I think the one that you could maybe dispute would be the one to Devontae deep. I think Devontae could have played a little bit better. He kind of overran it, didn't even kind of look back. Could have played a little bit better on the ball, and he even said that in the interview. So I even saw the team get off the bus. Awesome. I like that. Psycho Jackal says Carr needs to get out of the pocket and change the game up. Yeah, it would have been nice. That's another thing. Carr, I know Bosa last year said he kind of plays scared. I don't want to say he plays scared, but there's a lot of rust there. And that kind of goes back to the coaching, to be honest with you. Again, they should have done some preseason work. Practice isn't enough because those guys can't get hit with the red jerseys. So they were staying at the same hotel, Marriott Bon Voyage or Bon Voy. We looked good. Raider Wolf says we look good. It's just we got to clean things up. I expected a very challenging game. Well, yeah, Chargers are no slouch. The AFC West is a very tough division, obviously. So. And I fully expect to split with the Chargers. I said this during the schedule review, and I said it could go the other way around. We could lose this game, and we'll win the one in Allegiant Stadium. So I think that's what's probably going to happen. All we really need is for our O-line to protect Carr better. Honestly, I'm going to put for those 6 sacks, I'm going to put 60 to 70% of it on Carr and some poor blocking by the running backs, especially Josh Jacobs. That was some pathetic that first quarter. He looked like he was dogging it out there. There was no excuse. But I would put probably 60 to 70% of it not on the offensive line. Carr needs to get rid of the ball faster. He's not going to have all day there with two beasts like Bosa and Mack coming at him, and then they're blitzing Derwin James, Tranquil. You're not going to have that time. It's just not going to happen. So Carr needs to adjust. Devontae Adams looked amazing. Yeah, he looked like he was worth every penny. I'll say that right now. And he was giving people fits. He was giving people fits out there, no matter who they put Davis or Samuel on him. He was giving them fits for the most part. Let's see. Psycho says he waited in the pocket too long. Yes, I agree with that. Let's see. Thank you for the footballs, my life, and the tickets. You sending me some tickets to Soldier Field there, my life? Yeah, I got the Soldier Fields going on. Soldier Fields, I like him. Let's see. Josh McDaniels prefers Derek Carr to stay in the pocket. I prefer to mix it up. If you're getting rushed too much, get out of the pocket. Even run a little bit. Run and slide. You got to keep these guys honest. If they know you're going to stay in the pocket, they don't have to respect the running game. They don't have to respect you scrambling out. Like I said, I think the offense is a little too predictable and a little too pass heavy. He doesn't want our quarterback running the football like he's a running back. Neither do I. But there's times you got to scramble. You can't just stay in the pocket all the time either. Let's see. Curls up into a ball. Jeff says, always loved Carr, but he's really bad at times. Got fixed on Adams. A lot of medium to deep passes. Need to run, get the quick passes out. Yeah. Maybe Carr should do what Justin Fields does. In trouble, run with it. Well, he doesn't have the athletic ability of Justin Fields. Justin Fields is an absolute freak on the field. If you haven't seen him, I think he's better running the ball than Lamar, to be honest with you. And that's a bold statement, but that guy is a beast out there, and he did a heck of a job. If you watch the Chicago game, I watched parts of that, the 10 o'clock games. They played the Niners, tough defense, in pouring down rain, trying to make passes, run the ball. The guy was a beast. Justin Fields is a beast. Let's see. Raider Wolf says, yeah, he should be a little bit more mobile and just dodge people, do something, don't just down there. Well, he does run. We've seen him run from time to time, run for first downs, run out of bounds. He's got to keep a hold of that ball, though. Get him some better gloves or something. I don't know, but he has done that in the past. This time, I don't know. I didn't get that one. Justin Fields is my boyfriend. My life says Justin Fields is my boyfriend in TikTok, so a lot of hearts. He's a beast. I got him in my fantasy team, so he's a beast. I'll probably start him at some point. Jeff also says our offense looked great when mixing in run and play action pass. If that would have been the game plan with the start, we would win, no problem. Jeff, you could argue that you take away one of those interceptions, we win the game, right? Remember, we had 3 interceptions, we lost by 5 points. So you could argue that. You could argue that if he didn't throw behind Waller and got that touchdown, that's a 4-point difference right there. I mean, and it's kind of amazing if you actually think about it, because if you look at the Chargers, I mean, they played at a very high level. Herbert played almost at like playoff level. Let's be honest. Very few mistakes from the guy. And they barely won. They won by 5 points. And we didn't play that well, especially on the offensive side. Let's see. Sandy says, oh, you wish it was your boyfriend. Yeah. He does. She does wish. That'd be like hitting the lotto. Tell you what. Let's see. Jeff Garrison says, unfortunately, we saw Fields week 5 last season, the Gruden email game, ugly game. Well, that was the whole game. If you're a longtime fan of the channel, I was doing previews and reviews, and I was really concerned about our pass blocking then, before this game, with Khalil Mack there, with Akeem Hicks, Roquan Smith. I was really worried about that Bears game, and they pummeled Carr, and Brandon Parker was a piece of crap. And by that time, they moved Leatherwood into guard. He was a piece of crap too, and it was pathetic. And Gruden, you said the mail. It looked like he mailed that one in. I think he knew he was on the way out, and I think the next day or two he actually resigned. And all that came out. He looked like he just kind of mailed that game in. It was pathetic. And I was pissed. If you check out that game review, it's one of my old videos. It's still up. If you want to have a good time, watch that. Carlos Las Vegas Raiders says, got to clean it up week 2. Yeah, got to clean it up. I don't think the Cardinals are as tough on defense. Offensively, they're not going to have Hopkins, so that helps. Christian Kirk went to Jacksonville on a big contract. I think he got a little overpaid, but good for him. James Conner, I'm not really worried about. I think we can handle the run pretty well. Perryman's there. Nate Hobbs. Oh my God, Nate Hobbs. I mean, this guy is like a corner who plays like a friggin' strong safety at times against the run. He's a beast, and it's just, he's awesome. It's one of those few picks from the whole regime that actually worked out. And of course, I think it was a 5th round pick too. Like none of them for the first round really worked out, but hey, they get the 4th and 5th round picks. Let's see. I'm looking down. Let's see. Sandy B says, yeah, Raider champion, didn't let that go for a while with the Bears. Well, yeah, that was a pathetic game, and we didn't lose by that much on the scoreboard, but we got the crap beat out of us. Carr got beaten up on that game. I even had a picture. You can look at the game review. I got the picture of him face down in the dirt. Robert Quinn was on that unit too. Yes. Ugly game. I saw it last year. A lot of huge drops in that game. Yes. And that was before the Ruggs incident as well. Let me get a drink here. There we go. Raider Wolf says we'll do well against the Cardinals. I think we will too. I really think they're going to run the ball a little bit more. That's going to help us out. We're going to mix it up more. I think. I hate to say it, and it kind of pisses me off because it's almost like the offense kind of used this game as a tune-up game, since we didn't have preseason game with the number 1s. So they look rusty. I think we'll get this a little bit better, and we got to mix up the game plan a little bit better, get more runs in, especially early on. Oh, you saw it last year. Yeah, you saw my review. Yeah, I think I dropped a few F-bombs or something. I said a few choice words. You can go back and look at it if you want to watch it again, but I wasn't too happy. Red Wolf says our starters didn't get any reps in preseason. Yep, it's going to help a lot that we played the Chargers. Good opponent to start with. Should get easier after a couple more games, but my point is you're playing against a division rival. You shouldn't use those games as tune-up games. Use that game 4 against the Patriots as a tune-up game if you're going to use that. I think that was a blunder by McDaniels, to be honest with you. I would have liked to have seen our offense, our number 1s out there. I would say 2 drives would have been good, because again, we heard all week in the joint practice that Carr and Devontae were destroying the Patriots defense. Again, that's nice when Carr has a nice little red jersey on. He can't get touched. Not when Joey Bosa's up his ass. Not when Khalil Mack's coming to knock his head off. It's a completely different story. So again, we shouldn't be using regular season games, let alone divisional games, as tune-up games. So that's on Josh McDaniels. I look at yesterday's game. Jeff says, look at yesterday's game as preseason dress rehearsal for the starters. Again, we can't drop divisional games like that. That would have been nice if we were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars or the New Orleans Saints. Who gives a shit, really? Not divisional games, not teams that we're going to be having to fight for playoff spots with. Let's see. Damn fingers. Sandy. 5K? I see 4,200. Sandy says we're at 5K likes on TikTok. I see 42K, but or 4.2K rather. I will take your word for it. Let's see what we got. I've got my OBS over it. 19 likes. Well done overall. We are at about an hour. I think we'll do a final round here. I think we could have played better, but there's some optimism here because again, 3 turnovers. Chargers played pretty even ball, pretty error-free ball. Herbert looked like he was ready for the postseason right now, and we only lost by 5 points. So you can take that as a sense of optimism. Let's see. Nope, it's over 5. Yeah, I see 4.4 now, so I do appreciate that, though. Thank you. Hey, Kigs28, how are you doing? Let's see. Jeff also says, with the offensive line not settled, McDaniels didn't want a chance preseason, but it should have played against the Patriots. Well, they're throwing Illuminor and Munford in at right tackle. What's going on there? I mean, I was wondering if they were going to do that with scheme. I thought when they threw Munford in, they were going to run the ball more because maybe they wouldn't trust the rookie in pass protection as much. It didn't play out that way. The game plan didn't really change. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I want 5 guys. Decide your 5 guys. Put your 5 guys out there. If you don't feel they're good enough to play a full game, go in free agency. Get a vet, a halfway decent vet, and plug them in. I mean, enough is enough with this nonsense. And Sandy B says, hit that like button, subscribe, ring the bell. Make sure on the bell you click all so you don't miss any notifications. Absolutely right. And if you're on TikTok, follow and tap. It helps the algorithm. Do your thing, and I'll be doing my thing. Appreciate it. I agree. We need to win against the division, whatever week it is, no matter what. Absolutely. So I think the Raiders are going to have, I'm going to take any last questions, and I'll say this. I think the Raiders are going to take this game as kind of a missed opportunity. It should have been a lot closer, to be honest with you. We turned the ball over, made some stupid mistakes, and we only lost by 5. We definitely could have taken this game. Even with the Chargers, I think, playing at a high level, we weren't. And we were right there with them for most of the game. So I'll say that. I think we're going to bounce back next week against the Arizona Cardinals. And join us Friday evening, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9/8 Central. We will be live going over the review of the Cardinals game. And I'll give my 4 keys to the game. I'll have 2 on defense, 2 on offense, and what I think we need to do to win this game. So let's see. Yeah, so if you are enjoying this, especially, I always say this, especially a lot, I get a lot of people watching the live streams after the fact, and I don't know why. Why not subscribe and join us here, and you can put your 2 cents in the chat, and we can converse as well. So I would want you to subscribe as well instead of just watching this after the fact. All right, let's see. I think we're going to call it a night tonight. I do appreciate you guys coming out, both on TikTok and on YouTube. And you guys right here on TikTok, wave my hand over the camera. Appreciate you guys coming out. I'm going to end the poll right here. Overwhelmingly, 62% said the car interceptions were the difference in the game. I think it's kind of a mixture, but yeah, I think if that didn't happen, even if you take one away, I think we might have could very well have won the game, even not playing at our best, which kind of shows where this team is right now. So there's still a lot of optimism. I want a little bit more a better game plan distribution and ball distribution in the passing game. Defense played solid enough for us to win this game, to be honest with you. Remember, we only gave up 24 points to a high-powered offense, and we turned the ball over 3 times, so our defense was playing on a relatively short field 3 times during that time. We only gave up 24 points. So above average performance against a high-powered offense, our defense did. So I will see you next Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9/8 Central. We're going to talk about this game against the Cardinals and how the Raiders are going to bounce back and win this game. Thank you very much. Good night to you, Jeff, as well, and Sandy, and everybody else who's in here, Lencho, and My Life, and even you too, Hefe, if you're still here trolling. Appreciate every single one of you coming out here. And as always, and you too, Raider Wolf, I see you out there. See you later. And as always, go Raiders.
Ask you something. With all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the years?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.